keep having all these problems. How we gonna solve them? Every day it's the same thing. All these unsolved issues, I guess it's official. Here we go again, the same boy thing. And I'm tired of arguing and lying. So goodbye.
Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. It is October the 3rd, 2024, and today the topic is Jehovah Jireh. Happy Thursday. It's Happy Thursday, everybody. I hope you guys had a wonderful Tuesday and Wednesday. Mine was just fine. Yes, mine was good overall. Yes, I know your girl has not been here in 2 days. Did you miss me? Did you notice? Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But I don't know, y'all. I've been back and forth mentally about what's been going on. On one hand, I'm like, Lord, are you giving me a break here? Because I did not feel led to come talk to y'all. I got up, I studied my dreams. All that stuff happened, but there was nothing significant that stood out to me to share with you guys. So I went on about my day. I mean, I was NJ's learning coach and whatnot. So we did our learning coach stuff. Outside of that, Wednesday, I had to work in the evening times at the church. So I went and did that after doing NJ's school and whatnot that morning. And that's what my past couple of days have looked like. Like I said, I still got up, I still studied, I still, I had dreams and I was interpreting them and things of that nature, and everything was standing out to me and resonating with me, right? But I did not feel led to come talk to y'all about that stuff. So I don't know, what's been going on the past couple of days. I know both my accountability partners, my husband and my son, both had things to say about me not doing the juice for the past couple of days. I know on my way back on our last night from church or whatever, NJ was like saying something along the lines about having a juice to, he's like, I think you should have a show in the morning or something like that, he was saying. And then this morning, my husband woke me up, whatever, and was like, you ain't did the juice in the past couple of days. You how do you say? He said you whatever that word is. I can't even think about what the word is. And I was like, look, y'all, I'm trying to, find balance with this too. I don't know what's happening. Like, all I know is I took some and I was like, Lord, you got something for me to say? And I didn't feel nothing to say. And so I was like, all right, I'll go forward with the rest of the day. So that's pretty much that, what that has looked like. So my apologies if y'all was expecting juice, but that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to be obedient. You know what I mean? Like, I think maybe the Lord just giving me a break. I don't know. But anyway, but I was still going back and forth with that mentally about like, am I losing momentum or is God giving me a break? So yeah, so that's one thing your girl's been figuring out or trying to figure out. I know we done, crossed that. I told you guys, I think last time I was here today, shout out to those that have subscribed and whatnot. We have a lot of new subscribers now. And to God be the glory, man. Hey, I'm still finding balance and stuff. I'm not getting crazy about the comments and nothing, but I have been trying to be intentional about answering people's questions, especially those people that have questions about Allie. And, and a lot of them are asking, like, what should they do and what can we do? Which I get it, man. I like when I first came across her and her testimony and had the conversations, and that was my question too. Like, Lord, what can I do? Right. And so, I feel like I've been doing what I can. When it started off with the challenge that she gave, I did that. I've been sharing her testimony. I had the opportunity to talk to her. All those different things is things that I felt led to do. I've been just pretty much just trying to let people know that, hey, the main thing that I've heard Allie say that I'm just going to reiterate to anybody that asks, what should we do about this human trafficking issue or whatever the case may be, is to do something in family and community. Like, I believe that's one of the main messages that she's been sharing is that, hey, I know everybody wants to hear about the elite stuff. I know everybody, is going crazy about Diddy right now and all this different type of stuff, but there's children in your families that are dealing with this type of stuff, right? There's people in your community that are dealing with these type of things. And so we need to be more diligent as humans, especially parents, and just people to just be more aware, right, that these things are happening and do something about it. Like, I done responded to good and bad commentary. But I'm telling you guys this stuff for a reason. I'm telling y'all this because I feel like it goes with this today's juice. So I'm not just trying to talk. But anyway, so basically, I've been over the past few days, I have been responding, like I said, to good and bad commentary. And some of the negative stuff is kind of like very interesting because it's like, it's saying, aside from saying that she's lying, then people are coming for the platform, right? They're over here like, y'all, they're saying some weird stuff like you guys support the predators and this, that, and the other, or people are questioning the God, Sex, and Love name, X, Y, and Z. A little bit of digging, not even much, just a little bit of digging. Just looking at our profile would explain the name. But if, in case you didn't want to do that, I know reading, is just too much for people sometimes. So, I felt it was important to share the testimony. I mean, at the end of the day, I know y'all probably found this platform because of Allie, but this is not Allie's platform. And I've been very clear about that. Like, nobody's trying to pretend like we're her. Okay. First of all. Second of all, Allie is just one of the however many hundreds of testimonies that have been featured on this platform. And so, majority of my testimony and majority of the content that I'm sharing and creating is centered around biblical stuff. Okay. Been very clear about that as well. So, I don't know. I've seen the comments about that. I've seen the comments about people thinking that we shady or something. And then I've seen the comments about, obviously, that people think Allie's lying. So, again, I'm not trying to get caught up in that. You know what I'm saying? I'm listening to my husband's wisdom, but I am trying to respond to those that actually are, like I said, if you really, really wanted to know, hey, what can we do? Or if you really wanted to know, how can we support? We really wanted to know, like, stuff like that. We've been trying to answer those questions, give you guys more information, give you guys information that we have. And at the end of the day, like, I've been very clear. I talked to her 3 years ago. The content shows that. Like, I haven't talked to her since then. Those 2 videos that y'all seen, those conversations, those were the conversations I had with her, like, verbally, as much in person as we could be. We just on a computer, okay, or on our devices. So since then, I have not talked to her, quote unquote. We've sent messages and whatnot, but that was still maybe like a year or so ago when we like exchanged a chat conversation. So I've just tried to share the content that she's asked people to share. Okay. And I've tried to keep our audience up to date on what's happening with her. And things like that. And so anytime that she's trying to go, like, she goes live with her mom, and I guess they have a Telegram. Sometimes they go live. She has an Instagram. Sometimes they go live. So people that have asked those questions, I've shared those things with those people. If you look in our community, there's information there. Whenever we get updated information about her, we try to put it there to let people know that, hey, you can go listen to her on Telegram, and you can go keep up with what they have going on, things like that. Outside of that, y'all, everything else that's happening with the platform, I feel like that's the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's the one that's adding these subscribers. He's the one that's adding whatever views and whatnot that's happening. And I've been finding balance with that, and whatnot. I've been trying to find balance with that. And I say all that to say, okay, because like I said, I know this goes with today's juice. Okay, so this morning, I woke up. Well, last night I woke up. I made note of some specific times that were standing out to me, and then this morning, same thing. The time that my husband got me up, I made a note of that time, and then there was another time I woke up a little bit before he got me up, and I made a note of that. And so after I listened to the prayer meditation this morning, I went back to those verses, and there was quite a few that were standing out to me. And the interesting thing, I was like, okay, I know this fits. They all go together. They all are saying something. So I went deeper thinking about, like, what was the Lord telling me for me and also to share today. So ultimately, I'm going to share with you guys the verses that were standing out to me. And then I guess we'll continue the conversation. All right. So here are the verses that were standing out to me this morning. So obviously around 12:22, that time stood out to me last night. And it brought me to Luke 12:22, and it says, and he said unto his disciples, therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat, neither for the body what ye shall put on. So that stood out to me this morning as I went back to those verses. Then the second verse that stood out to me was Romans 4:5. So that was the time I got up this morning, 4 or 5, before my husband woke me up again. So anyway, it says, but to him that worketh not, but believeth on him that justifieth the ungodly, his faith is counted for righteousness. So, and then the last verse that stood out to me, which is again around the time that my husband, I guess, was getting ready to leave and he woke me back up or whatever, is Matthew 6:28. And it says, "And why take ye thought for raiment? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They toil not, neither do they spin." So yeah, after reflecting on those verses this morning, I couldn't help but notice the two verses centered around clothing. And I was like, what's this thing about clothing? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's this big deal? Now, not that today's conversation is all about clothing, but ultimately, the more I went deeper about these verses and was seeking, biblical wisdom and whatnot centered around this conversation and trying to figure out again what was the overall message. There was a couple of phrases that came into my heart and mind this morning as I listened to the prayer meditation. So the prayer meditation today was about, oh Lord, it went away from my mind. No, it was about treasures. And it was talking about, again, earthly treasures and treasures in heaven. So the phrase treasures in heaven stood out to me this morning. And then as I was thinking about that, the phrase no earthly good stood out to me as well. And so I was like, all right, Lord, I know all of this stuff means something, right? Even just that by itself. I mean, obviously we need to be storing up treasures in heaven versus, again, focusing on earthly treasure, X, Y, and Z. So that alone is already a word, right? But I knew that, again, this idea about the clothing or worrying about, earthly things, whatever the case may be, it all has something to do, or it all came together. And so as I was, doing my study and whatnot, what I was receiving overall is that, again, it's more important to focus on things that, that the Lord is focused on, right? Things that go beyond just our earthly situation. So even with the sharing, right? Even with sharing Allie's testimony and sharing about the evils of the world and things of that nature, I have still been trying my best to share the gospel as well, right? I've still been doing my best to share what this platform was created for. I get that there's earthly issues. The Bible's clear that there's going to be earthly issues, right? But at the end of the day, if you really truly want to get rid of, quote unquote, or do something about, right, the earthly issues, then you're going to do something about the spiritual issue, right? Because that's what is ultimately causing the earthly issue. These people are, being, there's no self-control. They're not being led by the Lord. So there's only one other thing to be led by, friends, and that is the enemy. I know we don't like to think that. We like to think there's other options, there's gray area, all this type of stuff that we like to think. But at the end of the day, the Bible's very clear that there's only two choices, good and evil. It's only Christ or Antichrist. That's it. And I know that's not, politically correct to say. I know people don't like to hear that, everything like that. But that ain't got nothing to do with me or the price of tea in China. At the end of the day, this is what the Bible says. This is what I believe. And this is what I believe that I've been led to share today. Because again, we can get so caught up in the things of this world, including clothing, right? Including, just life, man. I get it. On one hand, like I said, it's a beautiful thing again to see people finally paying attention, right? And it's finally getting, we're getting subscribers, we're getting views, and that's great. You know what I mean? Obviously, there's going to be benefits from that, and that's so funny as well because people are talking about. I guess there's commercials on our videos now that people are complaining about because they're like, oh, those commercials are by the predators, and I'm like, let's be for real. Like, who is controlling any of the commercials that they have on their platform? Like, anybody on YouTube. But all of a sudden, y'all care about what commercial is on what video. Like, at the end of the day, I watched plenty of Christian content that had unchristian commercials on there. Like, YouTube controls that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just so interesting. It's like, instead of doing something about the real issue, right? We want to, like, nitpick and find something wrong with those that are out here doing their best to use their gifts and talents, not only for the Lord, but then also to bring awareness to the evils and do their part with doing something. And I ain't gonna lie, man, I did tell somebody that this morning. So I'm sorry if that offends you, whatever the case may be, but I hope that it put a list of fire under your hind parts and whatnot, and under your feet, right, to do something either for the kingdom or do something for this issue of human trafficking. Because I mean, listen, I ain't gonna say that we the only platform and we the only reason y'all know about some of this stuff, but some of y'all with some of the comments, y'all like this is y'all first time hearing about it. So look, you're welcome. And I'm not trying to be like, it was me. It's because Allie did what she did, right? That lit a fire in people like me that are doing what we're doing. And it's going on and on and on and on from there. So, it's just very interesting, I guess, this quote unquote going viral thing. And it's whatever, you know what I'm saying? To God be the glory. Hopefully, again, God is building up his kingdom and building up, more awareness about this situation. So I'm grateful for whatever the Lord wants to do with me, for me, and through me. But at the same time, too, and y'all probably can't see my shirt, but y'all can probably see it on the whenever we put out the photo that goes with today's conversation. I'm wearing the shirt that says "Woman of Action," and I think that defines me in a lot of ways, right? And it's like, but it's not just me though. I feel like this defines a lot of us, right? We feel like we got to do something, right? We feel like we got to do it, right? Now, yeah, there's some truth in that. Like, you got to put in some work. Like, you got to do something towards whatever it is that the Lord wants you to do, right? Whatever the purpose is, all this type of stuff, you got to do something. But at the end of the day, again, what I was receiving this morning is that God is the provider, right? That's the Jehovah Jireh. Guys haven't, familiar with that phrase or whatever the case may be. Might not be saying it exactly correct, but it's pretty much God is our provider. And yeah, so even with the work that's being done, right, the work that was done years ago and the work that we're doing today, at the end of the day, it's God that is providing, right? It is God that is taking care of the details and things like that. And so again, it's best not to get caught up in those things and versus just letting God do what he do, and you just be obedient, right, to do what he tells you to do. Speaking of that, man, here's another verse that was standing out to me this morning, right before I was getting ready to stop taking notes. This verse right here is standing out. It was Exodus 15:26. It says, saying, if you will diligently listen to the voice of the Lord your God and do that which is right in his eyes, and give ear to his commandments and keep all his statutes, I will put none of the diseases on you that I put on the Egyptians, for I am the Lord your healer. Now, yeah, I know we're talking about God being the provider today, and I know healer is a different word, but I believe that this verse was standing out to me for a lot of reasons. One, I couldn't help but be thankful and grateful that just about any of the issues and whatnot, and I know people say knock on wood at this point or whatever, but I don't know about all that. I'm just going to continue to trust the Lord or whatever, that even with me saying this, prayerfully will still be in this boat, that just about anything that has happened here in America thus far, has pretty much bypassed me and my family. Like I told you guys the other day, I know that there was a hurricane and whatnot to happen. We got some rain and whatnot, but we did not see that much issues. You know what I'm saying? During the pandemic, your girl was thriving. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for the most part, I was just trying my best to be obedient and build this platform and do the things that the Lord was having me to do, and take the open up doors and opportunities. And that's what was happening during that particular time. Other things that have happened between the pandemic and now, again, some things have been devastating to people, right? Some people have lost their lives, or, again, homes and all these different type of things have been affected. But by the grace of God, I feel like, I guess one of these Israelites that was able to put the blood covering, over our household, whatever the case may be, because, yes, our family, like my family in regards to, my parental sides, the paternal and maternal, though, my family has been affected. We've lost people. I've told you guys when we've, lost different individuals along the way since I started this journey. So we've lost people, people have been sick. There's things that has happened in my circle of influence, whatever case may be. But at the same time, we've been blessed too, right? Like I was looking at my sister the other day, and she just started a program where she's able to provide or help people get certified to become phlebotomists quickly, and stuff like that. Like she's already doing like a 12-week program, but she has like a 2-week program or something like that for people that are, on their way and need an expedited experience and things like that. And so I bring that type of stuff up because I'm like, God has been like building businesses. He's been, allowing people to, do a lot of great things. And I think, again, if you're being obedient, right, if you're covered by the blood, if you're listening to the Lord and things of that nature, then this verse rings true to you in your life, right? At the end of the day, like God, I'm just going to read the verse again. It says, I will put none of the diseases on you that I put on the Egyptians, for I am the Lord, your healer. At the end of the day, again, this could be you, man. You can have your life covered and whatnot as well if you're being right to the things of God. If you're listening to him, like it's just so girl, I say girl, I don't know who's this, girl, man, whoever's that y'all are listening to me. Basically, I just find it so interesting, like how we can be so easily, influenced to believe and think a certain thing rather than using our brains, right? Like for my stepdad used to say, for something besides wearing your hair, you know what I mean? Like, like, and I get it. Everybody's not gonna believe the same, you know what I'm saying? And I get it. It took me, hey, like I said, there's a few things I think that got me on this path of quote unquote enlightenment, right? Where I'm actually seeing the issues of this world, right? Where I'm actually, seeing like truth versus, or the reality of situations versus just like what the media presents to us. You know what I'm saying? Like people are so caught up in that where they can't even like see what the truth is. And that's why, again, we need discernment. That's why, and I ain't gonna lie, this is another comment I made, but here it is again to anybody, right? The least that we can do is humble ourselves, listen to both sides of the coin, whatever. If you talk about politics, if you talk about whatever you talk about, listen to the different sides, right? And then seek the Lord for the wisdom. That's the least we could do. And that's all I did. And that's what opened my eyes and whatnot. And so I pray that more people continue to open their eyes. Thank you to those that are already awake. Hopefully you guys wake more people up that we can, at least those of us that are here in America that still have the freedoms that we currently have, like we can do something about some of the things that we are seeing. I know it feels like a lot, because it's like attack on every end, man. There's a lot of stuff going on. And so sometimes it can be overwhelming and we feel like there's nothing we can do. But that's not true. There is something you can do. And the best thing to do, I believe, is to keep sharing the gospel. Okay. And then also, again, if you want to get practical about human trafficking and stuff like that, again, start in your circle of influence, start with your family, protect those children in your family. Right. And then the community, like, hey, are those organizations in your community actually helping the people they say they helping? Make sure, you know what I'm saying? Do something about it. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. I'm going to let y'all go because I got to get ready to go to work. But y'all have a wonderful, wonderful Thursday. And I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow if the Lord's will. If the Lord's will now. Look, if I don't, then I guess one of the Lord's will. Tomorrow is Friday. So we do have a new episode of the GSL Talk Show coming out. The gentleman's name is Newer. I can't remember. Anyway, but his episode is coming out tomorrow. New is or something like that. I can't remember right now. But anyway, and he has a powerful testimony and whatnot as well. So y'all can listen to that tomorrow at 7 p.m. And I'll write his name down. If I do go live tomorrow, then I'll write his name down and share it with you guys so I can say it correctly. But y'all have a fabulous Thursday, and I look forward to talking to y'all tomorrow if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. There you go. Facebook, YouTube, Rumble. Anybody listening to the sound of my voice, hope that you guys are encouraged and inspired. Thank you so much for listening, watching, subscribing, and sharing all those wonderful things. Thank you again to anybody that supports in any aspect. Like I said, I know the past couple of days, like I said, it's been weird for me to not do the juice, but at the same time, I've just been trying to be obedient. I didn't feel led to come, so I didn't come. So y'all see that, if you want me to come tomorrow, then I'll come tomorrow. We'll see. But like I said, it's still a weird place to be in because, again, y'all, those that really have followed this channel, then y'all know that I've been doing this ever since April 1st, 2020, Monday through Saturday, like just about every day. So to not be doing it on multiple days is weird. But But I feel like in those moments, what the more that I've been seeking God about it as well, and I just was like, well, maybe it's more important for me, for you guys to focus on the things that I already shared, and I think that's probably what it was about. But I don't know. We're gonna see. We'll see if the Lord send me back tomorrow. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to y'all then, if the Lord's will. Bye.